Welcome to the evening of November the 11th. I didn't hunt this morning, had some honeydews to do, which I guess should be more accurately called pinhoti dews. But we got them done. I had to drive back to Alabama and turn around and come right back. So I wasn't able to hunt yesterday evening or this morning. But we got back in time. The big front's supposed to hit tomorrow. Already switched. It's supposed to have switched to a north wind. So we're moving into an area. And just jumped a deer out of this bottom, but I guess it just comes with the territory. I'm trying to get in the woods when it's crunching. So you can tell it's a Friday evening. The rut and a cold front coming because the woods are full of folks. Roads are full of trucks. Camouflage everywhere. We one of them. The idea here is these bottoms on this particular side of the ground are a bit thicker than the majority of them. And I think the deer are using them to bed, so there's a big ridge that wraps through several of these top bottoms. We just picked one of them and blew that deer out, but hopefully the other bottoms are full of deer too. I'm going to send Dad up one side of it where his wind should be blowing off into the down the ridge, so that the deer coming out of those two bottoms on that side he'll be able to put eyes on, and I'm going to go to the end of this thing and go up on the left side so my wind will be blowing back down into the bottom that we're walking up, and then I'll keep an eye on that ridge spine and those bottoms that come up on the other side. So great plan. It draws up real nice. We're in a tree. Should have waited till I could have got an earlier start to come into this spot. It's kind of a spot I hadn't hunted yet. I was not saving it per se, but the wind just wasn't right, and I kind of wanted it to be right before I came in here. We hadn't had much out of the north. Drove all the way in from Alabama today. Came straight here. Came straight in. In here at 2:58. So, but I'll explain what we got going on. We got a big ridge. You can probably see behind me here. It wraps around. I'm at the head of this. There's a deep ravine comes up that we walked up that our wind should be going right down. That's a steep ridge there that had a lot of sign on it. And there's a steep ridge from the other side that comes in, so like this and this. And then this is a little, it's like a little downward little slope that comes through and connects both of them. And that flattens out to a good ridge top that runs a long way. It goes up there in dog legs to the right, and Dad's kind of down there on that dog leg. And who knows, man? Who knows? You just throwing sits at it because it's November 11th. In theory, it just sets up perfect for a deer, just to be convenient for them to check everything, do everything quickly, efficiently, conveniently. But that don't mean they're gonna come down through here. third shooter I've seen on this place. Third. I can't get it right. I cannot get it right. I don't know why I couldn't get him on my viewfinder. I never could find him in the freaking thing. I mean, I couldn't find him. I mean, he just heard him walking. And I looked and I just... I'm begging. I'm freaking begging. And he walked right down there and I knew it was a matter of time because that's the gully that I walked up. That's where my wind is going. Everything's going there. And he got right there. Stopped. And hadn't blown yet. But just run and just... I'd have came on this place and seen 3 shooter deer and not got a shot at none of them. I'd have said, you're a fool. We're not hunting Kansas where you're hunting and looking at spot scopes and crap. Hunt woods. It's like I'm close, but I'm not getting some. Why did that deer come straight across right there? Why is he not? Why is he not like using? I mean, there's no path of least resistance there. He's just going up, down, like he's... Why would he not be using these ridge tops or bottoms or something rather than just going up and down? I don't. There ain't no rhyme. There ain't no reason. Dude, I don't know why I couldn't get him on that camera. Like, I'm usually pretty quick. I only run that thing a minute or two. I could not get him on that freaking viewfinder. I have no idea if I was high, if I was low. I have no idea. Another. Man, nice to see one still out here, I guess. Not that I doubted that, but it's good to see one. But it's the 3rd shooter that I've seen on this place. Not to yet pull that string back on one of them. It's kind of like every time he was about, it's hard to tell in these woods, but I'm thinking if I was guessing he was probably 70 yards. When we ended up seeing the doe in the bottom across from us, and then I saw bits and pieces of 2 deer straight behind me here going over the top. I don't know what they were. Tomorrow it's going to be cold. and sleet and all kind of nastiness, but we'll be here somewhere, frozen to death if we have to. But keep her spirits high. Best is yet to come, I hope. But for now, we're going down. Alright, November 12th. About as nasty as you could possibly imagine. We're at our spot, same place we was at yesterday evening. We saw a shooter deer nice and early, got downwind of me, kind of bounced off. Dad thinks he's had a shooter deer right under him right after dark, right as he couldn't see real well anymore, and saw bits and pieces of other deer, so I think they're on their feet. They should be. We're both sitting here and drank too much coffee because we got up early enough to kind of get all of this crap on. I ain't wore this many clothes and I can't tell you how many long. I ain't tell you how long. But all that coffee's got both of our guts are turning, and we're trying to figure this out before we get up in them saddles. That's a difficult process.
Oh yeah, that something you don't like to get in a hurry exiting too.
Yeah. So if we can get up there and get situated, I think it'll be a good morning. That's the whole process of getting up situated. It's gonna be fun. Everything's gonna be cold, wet, and slick this morning. We've up and done it now. Stupidity. But as soon as got the other camera, got the big camera under a cover. We'll catch up with you guys later. I gotta get my hands in the pocket, get warmed up, and we got 2 deer right here. This is something else here. It is a winter wonderland. I don't even know what time it is, but it's probably been daylight for an hour, I'm guessing. Those 2 does just walked off. I've erected this little, you can see the top of that little roof, little tree umbrella, they call it. The thing's about 400 years old. I have no idea where it came from. is keeping the snow off of me, or it did when the snow was coming out really hard a little bit ago. I had the camera. This camera's been up under a bag most of the morning. That's why I was trying to get this little roof up. I wanted to video some while the snow was coming as hard as it was, and those two does, one of them literally came and sniffed my climbing sticks. And she didn't freak, so that's good, I guess. About 125 yards down from where I hunted yesterday evening when we saw the shooter deer. He came through right on the uphill side of us here yesterday, but I don't expect him to do that again. I'm here because the main ridge runs this way, and obviously a bottom on either side that parallels it. But then you got these little finger ridge hollows that come up, and two of them come up, one there and one there. Those two does came out of this bottom, came by at 30 yards, went over there at about 50 and just mingled and scratched up under one of them trees forever, then walked dead under me. And then that one caught me, or not caught me, I've got a tree umbrella up. I mean, I'm sure I look like a freaking no-telling what up in this tree. She just looked up and was like, what in the world is that? It's the largest squirrel's nest I've ever seen. She didn't freak out. She just kind of trotted off, and they just kind of went off down in that bottom. So about 11 o'clock. Haven't seen anything since we saw the two does, obviously at daylight. We saw a spike cruised right by about 8:30, and shortly after that, two does came across the top way down here. We'll say way 100 yards down here and went down into this bottom next to us. But that was probably 9 o'clock or so. Hadn't seen nothing since then. Fixing to have this. I don't know if you want to call it breakfast or lunch or brunch, maybe. We'll sound fancy. We'll call it brunch. Yeah. We're gonna have brunch. short, it just makes sense by the time you get out and you need to be back in. So, as far as an update on the day, the activity picked up a little bit there right at lunch. We had, well, let's just walk through the day. We had the 2 deer early. The spike. 2 deer come over the top and went down the bottom beside us. They didn't get close, but it was 2 antlerless deer from the best I could tell. And then we had that little basket rack 8-pointer Bumpado out of that same bottom. She peeled back around and went back in the bottom, and he came right on up here past us. That was at about 12:30, 12:35, I think it was. And then at 1:35, I just had 2 does and a buttonhead walk right dead under us. And probably smelled where I peed or the sticks or something. And she bounced off. She didn't get spooked. She was just almost more curious. She made a loop around me and then got downwind of me and got curious again. Then she got kind of more nervous than curious, and they bounced like she wanted to go that way so bad. So she walked all the way back around and eventually went around us on the upwind side. And after that, we saw another small buck. It may be that same little basket 8-pointer, because it came from the same way that he left. Came up the bottom and went up the hillside across from us over there. So, anyway, we've seen some deer. We just need to beckon. We need that beacon we saw yesterday evening to come strolling right up under us. He's grunting and raising cane. I don't know what he is. Can't lay my eyes on him. That's gonna about do it for today. I am a flippin' popsicle. And I have used every ounce of heat these hot hands have to offer. And they're out. Saw a bunch of deer today, the wind. I mean, just the weather has had the deer on their feet, and seen a bunch, like, I don't know, over a dozen. And I feel like that's a lot for these just big woods hunting like this. So, pretty good day. Just didn't see the deer. We saw a lot of deer, just not the one. So, got a few more minutes and we can probably get an arrow to one, but if he comes by, I'll show you. this will be the last you see of us. And
Hey, we appreciate you guys joining us for this video. If you like this one, you'll probably like the next one. I'll leave it up here in the corner. Don't forget to subscribe and follow along with us, or leave our social media links down at the description below. That's also where you'll be able to find links on the turkey calls we use and the apparel we wear and that kind of stuff. So you can find that in that little drop down description below. And as always, we sure appreciate you guys following along.